This episode of Off My Shelf contains coarse language and adult conversation. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, my name is Trace James, and welcome to Off My Shelf, a podcast about movies that are well off my shelf, where we go through my DVDs and talk about the movies in my collection. In this episode, Shayna Fine joins me in talking about two movies that have absolutely nothing to do with each other: Kill Switch and Knocked Up. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm sorry for the very lame intro because I watched these two movies and they literally have nothing to do with each other. And I was like, I don't know how to make this funny or interesting.
I know. I tried when I watched them to think of like, what's the common? There's nothing.
There's nothing. Both movies begin with K. There you go. I don't know.
You go.
That's literally all I have.
Something.
It's something indeed. I think personally, we should start talking about Kill Switch just immediately.
Agreed.
Because, oh my God, what is this? Yes.
Okay, so I don't think I've ever seen a Steven Seagal movie until this.
Oh, okay. This is even more interesting.
My first time hearing him speak.
And
I was very surprised.
I don't think that's his regular speaking voice. He doesn't have
a character.
I think that was a character.
Okay.
So sorry. Before we start, a lot of people will not know this. It is a Steven Seagal movie. Kill Switch came out in 2008. It went straight to DVD, and I don't know why I own this. I have no idea why I own this.
That was my next question.
It is possible. So some of these DVDs were kind of like hand-me-downs from my brother, who's just like, here, I don't want this anymore. And I was like, okay. Because I watched this and I don't think I've ever watched it before, because no recollection in any way, shape, or form.
No.
And I don't. I got nothing. Yeah, no excuses. It's just there.
Yeah, no, I was surprised. I don't know what I expected him to sound like. Like, I think maybe in my head he was like Schwarzenegger, but he was definitely not.
Yeah, no, like
quiet.
I've seen his most quote unquote famous movie is Under Siege, which came out in like the mid 90s and stuff. And he does not have a southern bayou drawl, which
that's what I wondered.
I think that's what he was going for. Like it was all very, very confusing.
I'm impressed that he made an acting choice. It didn't seem to be the case for the rest of the movie.
So in the beginning, there's these flashbacks of like a kid being killed or whatever that keeps coming back.
Brother, right?
Was that what it was?
I think so. Well, they were wearing the same outfit, so I assumed they were twins.
But they kept saying it was one person's birthday, not like happy birthday twins or whatever.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Okay. But what does that have to do with the rest of the movie?
So was he supposed to be killed? No, I'm really confused. If there was no twin. Whoa, you just blew my mind.
I have no idea.
You're right, because they only called out one name. And I thought it was weird that the mom was calling his name when his brother was clearly the one who was dying. But maybe he was supposed to be like watching himself
die. Or like, was it a ghost of himself? Like,
was he a ghost?
I don't know. Like, there's nothing is explained about these scenes. Nothing whatsoever. They're all like muted colors and like close-ups of people going, happy birthday. And then some reason somebody's like, where's this kid? And then they're dead. And then
there was just a random guy in the woods who we never understood who he was either.
Yeah, right? It just, no. They never talk about it. Like the only connection you have of it is that at the end of all those scenes, Steven Seagal is like waking up or is like stressed out, and you're just like, what is that him? Is he remembering a case?
Well, it's the same name, right? So you assume it's him. I forget what his character name is. Like,
I don't even.
Justin something.
I don't even know. He was Jacob. He was Jacob.
I knew him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I had just assumed it was twins because I watched at 7 a.m. But you're right. It's probably him, and he was watching himself.
Exactly. And like,
was there a Kill Switch 2?
There is another movie called Kill Switch, but
it seems like they were setting up this character for like a series of movies.
Possibly.
Maybe that's why we don't know who this child is.
I feel like we don't know who the child is because it's a bad movie. Like,
I don't know.
Like, I think it was supposed to set him up as like, the cop who's a really good detective because he had a troubled childhood and blah blah blah. But usually when you have a movie like that, the case they're working on ends up coming back to connect with that trauma or something.
Yeah, that's what you're expecting.
So that it like makes it whole, and you're like, oh, that's why I'm seeing these scenes.
Yeah,
it's not just to show that he's troubled and he's got a reason for holding up the law, but also because he's like, it's my case. Oh my God, it's coming back because
right. Yeah, you expect the case he's following is going to be the same guy that stabbed him or his twin brother who doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they never really. They don't even show how the kid dies. Like, I know the guy shows like a knife and he's like, and you assume he was stabbed or something.
You assume he died, but maybe he didn't die.
Maybe he didn't. Oh.
Yeah, and then at the end when he goes back to the house, you think he's going back to his parents and they're going to explain it, right?
Yeah, or it's something. Some revelation's going to happen. Yeah.
Instead of this random wife that shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah, but also, which was also weird because he's having an affair with some cop in the city as well.
Yes, I was surprised at the ending.
Yeah, like it was almost like they're just like, hey, we need a reason to show boobs here.
You're like, because they set him up as this, like, he's this good guy and he's like taking care of all the women around him, but then really he's cheating on his wife.
Yeah,
he doesn't really care. And then he comes home and she's like a porn star, right?
Exactly. But wait, was he like? I know he was protecting all the women, but was he really taking care of them? Because he was a real dick to all the women in this movie.
Well, I was trying to sort of look up him as a human. Sounds like it's probably him, which is why I wondered how much acting was going on in the movie.
Yeah, acting is a strong word. Oh my God. Like some of the dialogue, some of like the scene choices were all just, what are you even doing? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
No. You get the impression that they were like, we need 8 fight scenes in the movie, and then they just built in little scenes in between to try and connect the fight scenes together.
Yeah, and was it just me or those fight scenes were like really long?
They seem long to me, although I have to say, like, kudos to the editor. Some of the editing was very entertaining.
Well, it was very clear. As soon as Steven Seagal put up his fist, everything else was not Steven Seagal. I think all that editing was just like, don't show the guy's face. He doesn't look anything like him. They'll never buy it.
And it was also like, let's show the guys from 12 different angles because we really only shot 2 minutes of footage and we have to fill 13 minutes of the movie.
Exactly. Oh my God. When I watched it, I was sitting there going, what is this? Like, of course it went like straight to DVD because they spent money to try to make money back somehow. But I would have just burned everything. Like, oh my God. It's horrendous. And like the supporting cast out of nowhere, Isaac Hayes is a really bad coroner who seems very confused about everything. Also not doing his job. Like,
nobody around him other than that one other woman cop who I guess is supposed to be their answer to, like, not all women are victims, right?
Maybe
this one strong woman character.
Is that
the FBI?
Yeah. And they're like automatically mean to her for no reason,
right?
And like, yeah, she smells a dead body and throws up and whatever, but at the same time, everything else she does, you're just like, no, she's following protocol. She's doing everything correctly. And you're making fun of her for it. Okay.
And then his girlfriend was supposed to be a cop too, right?
Yes. And
for some reason he hated her, which we don't understand until the end when you realize she's the mistress. I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. Which also makes no sense because so when you first meet her, he has come home and she comes out of the bedroom all like sultry and like a little silk thingy or whatever. And then he's a real dick to her for no reason. You're just like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, why is she so young and you're so hideous? What is happening here? And then the whole movie, it's this tease about like, oh, I'm gonna try to seduce you and love you, but you're like, why? Why are you doing this?
Yeah, the whole movie. Well, all the women in the movie were very clearly told you have to act like you're super attracted to him, right?
Yeah.
Every conversation with every woman in the movie, they're like trying to pretend they love him.
Yeah, or whatever he's saying is just like so hot.
Mm-hmm.
No, like the bartender or whatever, when he goes to ask her questions and she gives him a little sass, but then he beats people up and she's like, ooh, ha, yeah, let's go. What?
That's what real women want.
Apparently. I mean, didn't she see
randomly
double come in?
People. Yeah. Well, you can't mess up the hair.
Yeah, well, of course not. Hair. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't like hold on. I gotta look at my notes for this because I took surprising amount of notes, even though I spent the whole movie with my hand just like my head hurts. I don't know what is going on. Like what? So my last note, well, my two last notes are what the fuck did I just watch? And what does his flashbacks have to do with anything? So that's where that goes.
Yes.
And it starts with what's with Steven Seagal's accent?
Yeah, see, I thought just assumed that was his normal voice, and I never heard him speak before. I Googled where's Steven Seagal from.
Isn't he from like Wisconsin or something?
Yeah, he grew up in the States. But
yeah.
I don't know. It sounded like it was like a foreign accent trying to be Southern. Maybe something acting.
Yeah, I think that's what he's just like. I'm going to show my range in this one. You know, my real ability to show emotions and like to come up with voices and make.
Also very quiet, right?
Yes. Yeah, it was a lot of it was whispery talking.
Like I almost wondered if he had like an earpiece and somebody was reading the lines to him and he was just quietly repeating them back.
The whole movie was him actually rehearsing. So he's like, and now you take me to where you need to go, and now you take me to where you need to go. What? No, it was all very strange. Like
it was mostly entertaining. It was like a really bad episode of CSI.
Not even like what is a lamer version of CSI?
That's true. CSI is pretty good.
Yeah. It's a bad version of a Walmart version of CSI.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like cult guy, which was also random.
I don't
know about.
Yeah. But like none of the things connected. Like so the first guy, so like the first scene you see him or whatever, and they found a body and then they saw a building and they're like, oh, that guy is watching us from over there laughing. And all of a sudden, Steven Seagal's in the room with the dude and then beats the shit out of him. We don't even know who this guy is, but just beats the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, oh, he caught the guy. I guess there's going to be another case. And so the other case starts with this like Zodiac
something
moon dude who's like follows astrology.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's in a rock band, maybe.
Yeah, or
you're a rock band.
Oh he wrote the songs for the rock band.
Right.
That's what it was. He wrote the songs for the rock band, but he was also finding people in alleyways to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened? Oh, and then the first guy got out of jail and I don't know, hung out for a while. And then
I was waiting for the first guy and the second guy to be connected. And then the childhood guy to come back. But there was no sense of trying to connect things back together.
Yeah, no, they were three completely separate storylines in one movie that had nothing to do with each other. Yeah. And his investigative style made no sense because I was wondering the whole movie, like, how did you find them? This doesn't make any sense. She told you he saw a guy wearing an orange hat. And you're like, oh, he lives at this address. Let's go. Like,
well, the Zodiac guy, they showed him like decrypting his little, what's it called when you change like symbols to letters?
Oh yes, the glyphs or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He was like getting the message, right?
Yeah, it was like about on the back of a cereal box when he used to do that as a kid. And I really think that whole scene was just to show, like, look how smart he is. He can read.
Yeah, that's exactly.
What cops do.
Yeah, but like, but the funny thing is too is like his paper where he like scribbled his notes on looked like it was something that was like printed out of the computer. He's like, I googled glyphs and I printed this out, and you're just like, what is happening?
It's a very high tech movie. What year was it?
2008.
So like computers existed then.
Oh yeah. They were
the police work seemed like it was from 1953.
Right? Like they had no like, oh, let's check for DNA or let's magnify and look what's under this nail or anything. You're just like,
no,
okay, random stuff. I don't know. Because even like I was saying, Isaac Hayes was the coroner, and every time they walked in, he was like eating or something. And then, Steven Seagal go over the body, he'd be like, look at this. And then Steven Seagal would do the collecting of stuff.
Yes,
and then
what was that?
Walk out. I have no idea.
Are cops allowed to do that? Just walk in and like take random bits off of bodies?
As far as I know, based on my Law and Order and CSI watching, no, they're not.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would think they'd, contaminate evidence.
Yeah, there's no hygiene, although he was wearing gloves. So.
That's true. He did put on gloves. He did do it that way. But isn't there like a whole like chain of custody thing so they make sure stuff isn't tampered with? And
I mean, I would guess.
I would think.
And at one point they bring out like the super old body.
Yes, and just I don't know. It was just to be gross, And I love the fact that the FBI lady complains. She's like, isn't there protocols for this? Like, he can't just take stuff. And the other guy's like, you don't understand him. He does what he wants, but he gets the job done. Like, that's just illegal.
Also, does he really? He just kills me.
He does. Everything he does, he walks into a room, he's like, he just points at random people. You're the bad guy, beats the shit out of them, and then throws them in jail. And he's like, I've done my job. You're like, have you?
Plus all the other random bystanders that were shot and punched in the making of that movie. Yeah.
Oh, the one where they're just like running down the street, just randomly shooting.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like he also couldn't hold a gun straight. It was like sideways and flopping. And I was like, what are you doing? This is dangerous.
Yeah. This was clearly in the days before they had like a gun safety. Talking about what's happening in modern times. This was
my God,
the case during that movie.
Oh, could not be. And I think what's funny about a movie like this is so a couple years ago, like just before the pandemic, Steven Seagal signed up to be like a volunteer cop or deputy or something in some town, and they made like a reality show about it. Hold on.
How old is he now?
He is not a young man.
Or Steven.
Oh, it's called Steven Seagal Lawman.
Okay. Good
first
name.
of all. And oh no, this was actually a while ago. Oh, it's just still on the air. Okay.
Wow.
Apparently it's been on since 2009.
Oh.
Or at least like the first episodes.
Maybe he was really inspired by Kill Switch.
Maybe, but there's only 27 episodes. It's not that like long. Oh, the last episode came out in 2014. Sorry.
Okay.
And he is a fully commissioned deputy in Louisiana. And it's kind of like Cops, where they just follow him around and he like arrests people and takes people down, and has like self-defense classes and stuff.
Right.
And you're just like, because he's obsessed with cops and being the law and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And this movie shows he has no idea what that is. And I have never watched an episode of that Lawman show, but I have a feeling they've probably gotten sued many times over whatever he does on that, or they've had to cut everything wrong that he's done.
And how is he even allowed to, like, I thought there's a larger process to become a police officer.
In the States, no. Isn't it
imagine you get pulled over and it's Steven Seagal.
First, I think I would just start laughing immediately. But I think the first thing he'd probably do is pull a gun and then be like, "Get out of the car." What he does. Like, I think he's shoot first, ask questions later kind of person. So because I think the process of becoming a cop is like you pass a written test and do like I think it's like 16 weeks of training,
right?
Like, and then you go out there with like I'm getting all my knowledge from The Rookie, by the way. And then you go out there with like a training officer, and then you're a cop.
Feels like there's probably be more to it.
Yeah. Well, because what was it? I think it was not Jamie Oliver. John Oliver. Ugh. Jamie Oliver's a chef. Sorry.
I know. I was like, is Jamie Oliver a cop too?
No, John Oliver did this thing about
delicious lunches for everyone.
Right? He's like the cop chef or something. He shows up and he's like, well, while you're on the beat,
there's a show.
Here's a thermos soup that's made with all of these fancy things.
You think it's always the firefighters that are good chefs, but no.
No, some of them, those cops, they make some good chili.
Now the Jamie's there.
Exactly. I would watch that show, actually.
I would watch that show too.
He runs up on a cop car. They're like, "Stop, what are you doing? I brought you lunch." Totally watch it. I got to pitch that one. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
So John Oliver did like a story on like being a cop and all that kind of stuff. And he was like the different criteria for different places. And like I think it was like Norway or Sweden or something like that. They're just like, no, you have to get like a degree in this. So it's like a 3-year program. There's physical training, there's paperwork, there's psychological things, there's all this kind of stuff. And it's like you have to be properly educated to do this.
That seems right.
Yeah. Whereas in North America, it seems to be like, no, we'll just give bullies a gun and they'll be fine. We'll tell them not to be bullies, but it'll be fine. I don't think that's working very well.
No, like teachers have to have how many years of schooling?
Oh, so many years of schooling.
So many years.
Yeah.
Doctors have to have 10 plus years. Cops have 16 weeks.
Something like that, yeah. And they also have people's lives in their hands, so
that does not seem right.
Yeah, like a doctor, I think, like even during like before they even do like training and stuff, like become like interns and stuff. I think up to that point, they've already had like 8 to 10 years of training before they're allowed to be like, no, we're gonna go to a hospital. You're gonna see what it's really like, and we're gonna take care of patients with supervision.
Yes.
Well,
that's just Steven Seagal, and you just walk right into the room.
And he's like, yeah, exactly. And he's just like, give me a scalpel. I can do it.
That's right.
Yeah. Didn't he actually cut like a body or something at one point?
Oh, probably.
I don't remember.
He was totally rogue, except he called in every time, which I also thought was weird. Every time he shot his gun, like 3 minutes later, he called in, shots fired.
Right? Yeah, he's just
to cover his own butt. I don't know what that was about.
I think it was to cover his own butt. To be like, no, I just fired one shot and I'm calling right away. I'm like, dude, you emptied your clip 4 times.
Yeah.
I think you should have called a little earlier than that.
For the record.
Yeah.
Shots were fired.
But the funny thing is that I think in one scene he says shots fired and he says where they are, but every other time he's like, yeah, I took him down and just walks away. And I'm just like, you have to tell them where you are so they can like pick up the body or find you or whatever, bad things are happening, sir.
They must have a tracker on him.
Maybe it's just like on his car,
or maybe he said it was just really quiet, you couldn't hear.
Oh yeah. It's the voice talking in his head. Yeah, I get it. I don't know. Everything about this movie is bad. It's just,
I have to say though, like just as a general entertainment, as a 7 a.m. movie, not bad. It's like a 6. I was entertained. What? I was able to like do some dishes during the fight scenes, being honest.
Like, I'll be back in 10, and he's still punching that guy. Okay, I got more time. Another plate.
It was entertaining than I expected.
Oh my god. So what does this? So on IMDb, it says the storyline is a troubled detective travels to Memphis in order to track down a pair of serial killers.
I didn't get the travel part.
I didn't get the travel part either. Well, until the very end, where he's somehow was he in Mexico at the end with his blonde wife?
Maybe that's why he went home. Because I was also wondering why we only saw him go home at the end, but I didn't realize he wasn't home the whole time.
Well, exactly. So I was very confused by all of that too.
Because the other cops seemed to know him.
Yes.
There was no implication that he was a visiting person.
And also nobody made the black guy who was like his partner, even though he left him constantly, had worked with him for like 4 years, 5 years or something. Like at one point in time, he's like trying to say how great he is. And it's like, I've worked with him for blah, 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 how long. But he's never mentioned where he lives or where they worked before or that he was married or, what his history is. It was just like, when I worked with him, he shot some guy for me. And I was like, is that a good thing? That's not a good thing. What are you talking about? I don't like. It was just very like, it was not a story that would make me be like, you know what, that guy is a good cop. It made me think like that man should be arrested.
Yes. Well, yeah. I don't think you walk away from that thinking, oh, I hope he shows up at my door.
Exactly. It was crazy. I was like, who is writing this, thinking that this
also
sounds
the second
good.
Serial killer guy. What was the deal with him being naked? Did you catch that when he was kissing the girl? Was that just randomly like we're low on bums?
Maybe, I don't know. I think they wanted to make him like
nudity.
Be like, this is how really crazy he is. That he kills people while he's naked and prays to Sagittarius or something. I don't know what was I don't even know what was going on in that scene, to be honest. Like all he was doing was, what did he do? He was naked. He was under. Oh, that's what it was.
No, he was wearing like leather chaps, but he was otherwise naked. Right?
Yeah, and he was like taking stuff from under his nail to put under her nail.
Right.
Oh, I forgot this part. He tried to frame Steven Seagal's character. That it just didn't. At the end of the movie, for some reason, they're like, oh, his DNA was found under her nails. They're like, okay, and then they threw the guy at Steven Seagal found the guy, and then they were like, oh, he confessed for trying to frame him. We're just like,
why? I know. Why did he confess?
Yeah, why would he confess? Why did he confess?
Also, why did he run away at the end of the movie? Because it's sort of, they left. I thought he ran away. Then he went home, so he didn't really run very
far. Exactly. Yeah, because that's right. He doesn't go back to the station or anything. He's just like, I'm gone.
Yeah, and he leaves a note.
Yeah, doesn't fill out any paperwork or anything.
No, there's no paperwork.
Yeah,
because he's not a real cop. How could he fill out the paperwork? Maybe that's why he was doing everything on paper, because he didn't have like a password for the computer. So
he's like, shit, what is that password again?
That's right.
Toddy 48. Like, I don't, wait, is there supposed to be a capital? Is there like a symbol I gotta put in there?
I don't need to check the files. I'll just doodle on this paper over here.
Exactly.
Orange hat. Oh yes, okay. Going to the bar.
None of it made absolutely no sense. Like, my other thing is too is like, he traveled to Memphis to track down a pair of serial killers, but why did he travel to Memphis if he's a detective I guess he'd be a detective in his quote unquote hometown.
Mm-hmm.
But what would force him to go to somewhere else to do, like, did he kill somebody in his town, or
maybe because he's a specialist at finding serial killers?
I just
Not that they explain that.
I love that we were both asking each other questions. We're like, I have no answers. Like, I watched the movie too.
Maybe
no answers.
Two. Maybe that's who the other brother is. Maybe there's actually two of them and there were two people.
Oh my God. Maybe that's what it is, you know?
I like how we're trying to make this into a better movie than it was.
Like, the way to make this a better movie, take out Steven Seagal. Done. That's 90% of the work right there.
I don't know, though. I have to say, that was part of the charm of the movie, was how bad he was, you know?
Oh my God.
If he wasn't a sort of good actor, then it would just be like every other action movie.
That is true.
It was like, okay, this was a Steven Seagal movie.
He does put his stamp on things. That is for sure. What's really funny too is the director, Jeff King. So I decided to be like, I'm gonna look up what this guy does, right?
Yes.
Just be like, oh, you know, he's probably done like one other movie or something. It's so bad. This man has a proper career, and it blows my mind. Like, as a director, he's done mainly directing TV, right?
Okay.
But like big shows like White Collar and Blind Spots and things like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then, but in the middle of it, he directed 3 Steven Seagal movies for no reason, which blows my mind. And then he comes back, does more TV directing, but then produces shows like the Umbrella Academy. Like,
interesting.
What? You know, like, he's produced a lot of really good stuff and a lot of fun stuff, like Stargate and Relic Hunter. Due South he even did. Like, he did a whole bunch of, like, he's had a proper career.
I don't think the movie's problem was direction particularly.
It was everything?
Was writing, or was there a writer on the movie?
I mean, I assume there was a writer on the movie.
Sorry. Like, they quit halfway through.
The writer was Steven Seagal.
Yes, well, maybe that explains quite a bit.
That explains a lot, actually. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, I mean, I think Steven Seagal should have stopped doing stuff when 2000 hits, because his, like, quote unquote good movies were all before 2000, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they were cheesy, but they were still, like, decent action that made sense.
Yeah.
Sense in a strong, like, a vague sense of the word sense, but yes.
Yeah, this movie just didn't, the plot didn't go anywhere. It
was just confusing. It just went all over the place, because all of the connecting scenes that would make, you know, why is he going from here to here, and what does this have to do with this? All those bits that would connect those things together were missing.
Yes. Unless it was actually like a 5-hour movie that they cut down. They took out all of the important parts. He
was like, this is my opus. And he's like, they're like, it's 6 hours long. That's a TV miniseries. She's like, no, this is my art. We've got to cut it down, sir. They cut it down to an hour and a half.
Someone's going to find the full length script.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And he'll end up getting like an Oscar for it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the greatest thing I've ever done.
We'll remake it.
Yeah.
With Jamie Oliver.
Turns around and he's just like, beef bouillon.
That's right.
It's not just like beef bouillon. It's not just like broth.
That's just broth.
Yeah, okay. Bouillon is a fancy word.
It's a fancy word for broth.
It is, you know. Or here's some ratatouille. I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah, maybe.
I've had ratatouille once, and I don't know if it's because it wasn't Remy's ratatouille or something, but I ate it and I was just like, oh.
Yeah, it's not exciting.
No, it's a bunch of tomatoes and, like, what is it? Tomatoes and zucchini?
It's hot salad. Let's just be honest. That's all it is. It's hot salad.
It's hot salad. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed.
Vegetable side dish. I don't know. I'm not a vegetarian. Maybe if you're vegetarian, it's more exciting. My mother loves ratatouille, but she's the only person I've ever met who enjoys it.
Okay. Maybe it's one of those, like, acquired taste things.
Or you're supposed to have it maybe like more fresh out of the garden. You know, you pick the tomatoes that morning and chop the eggplant.
Yeah. you know, and then the Tuscan sun is shining in on you, kind of thing. Okay, so it's more of an experience than a flavor explosion of some sort.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
You have some really good bread, nice olive oil.
Yeah.
A lot of wine. I don't know.
Like legitimately, the first time I had it was I was at a restaurant. I had literally never seen it on a menu in Canada before. And I was like, I watched that movie Ratatouille, and that guy at the end really liked it. I should try this. And then I ate it and I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Movies have lied to me again.
It's not bad. It's sauce.
Yeah. It's I don't know if maybe it was like, you know how like they tone down foods for North American taste because everybody puts like their own salt and pepper on things. I'm a person who's like, look, if this is a thing that you create, unless you tell me to, I'm not adding stuff to it.
Yeah.
Right. So I put it in my mouth and I was just like, this tastes like tomatoes and it's kind of bland. And I was like, okay, was I supposed to put salt and pepper on it? I don't know. But this is what you made for me. This is what I'm going to eat. And I was like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, no, I don't think I don't know. I think you have to be in Tuscany. I don't even know if Ratatouille is from Tuscany, but now it is. It's probably French.
It's probably French, yeah. Ratatouille dish. There we go. What is the origins of a ratatouille? It is a French provincial dish of stewed vegetables originating in Nice or Nice, whichever way you want to put it. But yes, it is. It's definitely French.
So you're supposed to have it by the beach. There's a whole atmosphere going on.
Yeah, I think that's what we're missing. Yeah. It's not like, dreary winter day in Toronto and, you're just like, oh, look, I got to go outside with 8 feet of snow. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Here's your bowl of tomatoes and eggplant. No.
It's not working. No. So you got to be on like the French Riviera and on a sunny day with blue skies, on a yacht taking in like the breeze is,
that's lovely.
Yeah. And then you be like, oh, everything's so lovely. Definitely. That is an experience.
It's very fun to say ratatouille.
It is. But I find like bouillon, a lot of things with fun names, I think they give it fun names because they don't want people to know how lame it is.
Right.
Like gazpacho.
Example. Gazpacho, yeah.
Yeah. Gazpacho is such a great time. I was like, I was having gazpacho. It's cold tomato soup, guys. No, not interesting.
Gazpacho is better than ratatouille.
You think so?
It's a strange sensation. I don't know that I want to have a savory milkshake, but
yeah. Well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. A good gazpacho can be kind of delicious. Cucumbers. But
it's still cold tomato soup. If I want soup, I want hot soup, is all I'm saying. And somebody would hand me gazpacho, I'd be like, this soup is cold, put it in the microwave, take it back out, and be like, oh, tomato soup.
No, because you don't want cooked cucumbers. That would be
no. Good. That is true. Okay, never mind. I would not put it in the microwave. I would.
There's really like one day a year when gazpacho is appropriate if you live in Canada.
What date is that?
I don't know, like August 21st.
So like the hottest day in the summer.
Super hot day.
Yeah.
You're at a picnic. Again, it's about the atmosphere of it.
God. And you don't want something heavy, but you want something with a little flavor to it. And you're just like, ooh, get some energy in there, all the nutrition and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay, I get that. Yeah, I get that. But it's true. I now that I think about it, gazpacho is better than ratatouille. There's usually just more flavors in it. Yeah. In general. I'm trying to think of what's another one. It's another fun sounding.
I'm trying to think of one that's coq au vin, but that's delicious, so that doesn't apply.
That doesn't count. They're like lame food with cool names. That's what we're going for.
Catsup.
Catsup? Isn't catsup kind of like ketchup, but different? I always thought like there's like, so wasn't ketchup or catsup originally just any kind of like condiment made from a vegetable that you put on stuff? So like Catsup used to refer to like ketchup or relish or all that kind of stuff, and then they actually started like separating the names. And then
I was just reading somewhere that ketchup originally wasn't even tomatoes.
It wasn't, no.
Something else. I'm Googling ketchup. Was it? Oh, mushrooms.
Oh, it's mushroom.
Was like a mushroom blend, right? Which is nothing like the tomato ketchup we have now, which is like 90% sugar.
Yeah. That is. But who wants ground up mushrooms? That just seems like an odd thing.
I mean,
is it kind of like just like a mushroom soup but thicker, and you just pour it on stuff?
No, I think it's like a dipping sauce.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was easier to grow mushrooms or forage them than fresh fruits and vegetables, depending where in the world.
Yeah, probably.
Right?
Yeah. And it was just like a thing that they could easily use to add flavors to stuff.
Yeah.
And also mushrooms last longer, like if you pick them and stuff.
Fancy.
I don't know. All right.
Mushrooms do grow everywhere. As I'm looking out my window, there are no mushrooms growing outside of my window. You do see them outside sometimes.
Every once in a while. Yes, you do. Don't they have like what do they call them? They call them foragers or whatever. And they like go to like parks, or they go around the city. And if they see like, they'll see like a bush, but it's actually like parsley. And they're like, cut. Look what I got. Or they'll find like a fancy mushroom, and they'll be like, oh, did you see the blue-headed toadstool? And like, oh, I'm going to have this tonight. And you're just like, okay.
Or the truffle pigs.
Or yes, truffle pigs.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone should have a pig so that they can have mushrooms.
But isn't it a very specific type of pig, or is it like any pig can sniff out?
I think it's any pig.
Okay.
And apparently dogs are just as good at sniffing them out, but it was sort of a marketing thing that pigs is more fun to say. Imagine how slow your hunting journey would be if you had a pig with you.
I know, right? It'd be a lot smellier though.
I don't think you should forage stuff as a dog owner. I'd say anything you're picking up from the ground has been peed on.
I mean, they
just know that.
They clean it, quote unquote.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You watch those nature shows and they pick them right out of the ground and taste them, and I think, oh no.
Don't do that. No. We've learned too much about like germs and having like a lot of people around and stuff to be doing that. You should know better. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, maybe now they wouldn't do that, but no.
Well, I bet you like in those nature shows, it's just like, oh, we found one over here. Can you just like dust it off a second? Just like give it like, just pour a little bit of water on it before I go, because I want to taste it on camera. Okay, do that and go. Like, oh my God, look what we found over here. Oh, it's all the prep work. You
have to put it back in the ground, just tape it onto the tree until they're ready.
Can you see the tape? Can we dusty it a little bit? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be there for that. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Put on my own nature show, like the worst nature show possible. Be like, oh my God, I've never seen one of these before. And it's like a stuffed platypus. A platypus, when it bites you, has a poisonous bite. They're like, what? And they lay eggs, but they're considered mammals. Crazy.
Do you have a stuffed platypus?
I do not, actually. I don't know.
I like how you're looking around. Do I?
I know this is me trying to remember. But that was me trying to remember all of the weird things I know about platypuses. Like, originally, when it was reported to people that these things existed, it was like in the early 1800s or something. Like there was like a drawing of it in like a book. People were like, "Oh, this is a hoax. Those things don't really exist. It makes no sense because it has like a beaver tail and a duck." It lays eggs, mammal, but has a poisonous bite. You're just like, what?
Who are you?
Yeah, what is this? And then no, it's not. It's not the Fiji mermaid. Platypuses are real.
Were they from the Galapagos? Was that part of that discovery?
I actually no. The platypuses are not from the Galapagos, if I remember correctly.
And also, who named the platypus?
I have no idea.
Big name. Talking about naming things, fancy words.
So they're from the 1800s. They were discovered in the 1800s.
Okay.
And
well, they're funny looking.
they are funny looking. Maybe that's why they're poisonous.
Well, I feel like they get picked on a lot, so they need to be poisoned.
It doesn't say. It says who found them. It was 17 Europeans first encountered them in 1798. And it was sent back to Great Britain by Captain John Hunter. But where was it found?
Mostly in Australia.
Is it Australia? Okay.
Oh, how cute. They're smaller than I thought.
They're very adorable. I'm
looking at a picture of a platypus like on somebody's forearm. They're so cute.
They're adorable. Yes. Oh yeah, that is Australia. It's on the east coast of Australia, kind of thing. But yeah, I watched one of those videos on Instagram or something, and yeah, somebody playing with like a baby one, and it's just, oh my god, they remind me of like baby otters almost, just as adorable and fuzzy, and they're so excited. They're great. I like them. They're a lot of fun. They also like freshwater areas. There you go.
Who doesn't?
And I believe platypuses are now very popular because of Perry the Platypus from Phineas and Ferb.
Right.
Connections. Done. That's all I got.
That's pretty good.
I know.
You're ready for your show.
I could do a nature documentary. I could make up stuff. It'll be fun.
I would watch it. I would eat my mushroom katsup.
Exactly. See, but instead of showing like proper parts, like where it makes it look like I am outside, whatever, I'm gonna cut it together so it's all of the parts of us setting up the shot.
Yes.
It's just that, like, can we set up over here? We just need to see this over. That's great. Yeah, thank you. And cut. Next scene. We're setting up this other shot on this side. It'll be fine. How did we get on platypuses from Steven Seagal's bad movie? I don't even know.
Ratatouille.
Okay.
That's
oh my god,
factor of all things.
Steven Seagal was on an episode of Roseanne as Steven Seagal. Just letting you know.
Oh.
In 1996. I have no idea.
I wonder if he's on Cameo. I was looking at Cameo the other day. Maybe he can send us a message.
Oh my god. I bet you he'd probably be one of those people who's just like, it's $800 for me to say hi.
Yeah.
It'd be nuts.
Then you'd get to hear what he actually sounds like.
Or do you think he would make another acting choice?
Oh, here he is. Let's see. I wonder if you can request an accent.
Ooh, imagine. It was like, hey, can you be from Botswana? That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, where'd he go? I think maybe his page got deleted. Interesting.
Yeah, nobody wants any of that.
Oh no, it says Steven Seagal isn't using Cameo yet.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Steven.
Well, he could have got some monies out of us and say hello. Thank you very much.
$40.
Yeah, why not? Be like, hi, I'm Steven Seagal. I kick butt, but you guys kick butt on your podcast. Yay. Like, done.
I wanted to record like a really mundane message for me.
Be like, hello, you've reached Shayna. Please leave a message. Like, what?
Please leave a message at the beep. Beep.
that would legitimately be
confused.
Yeah. Like, that doesn't sound like Shayna. That sounds like Steven Seagal. What?
Yeah. That would be worth $40 to me.
I think so. That would be crazy.
Although I don't even think now with cell phones that you do record your own message.
You can, but you don't have to.
Do you? I don't think mine is just like the automated voice.
No, I think
I ever set it up.
Mine has literally been set up the same way for the last like 15 years because every time I get a new phone, it's the same number getting transferred. So I don't have to reset up the thing.
Oh, that's true. So maybe it is me. I don't know. I never call myself.
Well, see, and that's the thing. You never think about it until you got to do it. And then you're just like, why would I ever think about this? I don't
remember
have to.
When people used to have answering machines and you had to like plan out what you were going to say.
Yeah.
You had to record it.
Especially when it was like two people like, hi, you've reached Steve.
Yeah.
Hi, you've reached Marla. And we're not here. You're like,
Yeah,
what?
you always had to do like 10 takes because you would talk over each other.
Yeah. Or there'd be a sound in the
Singing
background.
message.
Yeah. Or like, oh, I don't like this word. Can we change it to this instead? Oh, okay. You know. Oh, those were the days. Tapes and such. Yes. Yeah. Oh my God.
When you actually listen to your messages.
I know every time, like if I ever get a message, I'm just like, the fuck is what? If I recognize the number that called, I will just call them back. If I don't, it just gets deleted.
No, I'm like, anyone who needs to speak to me will just call back.
That is also number. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the other thing. Yeah. Very
Never
much
had a real message other than like just confirming your appointment. Okay.
I think my last 800 messages is my mom going, yeah, call me back. I'm like, what? Okay.
Oh yeah, mine's just pocket dials from various family members.
You just hear like rustling. You're like, oops, what? Oh,
yeah, just hear their coffee order or whatever they're watching on TV.
Oh, love it. Anyways, yes. Oh, Steven Seagal was born in 1952. So he's 70. No, he's 69.
Yeah.
Right? Am I doing math right? I think so.
Yeah, he'll be 70 next year.
Yes. Yes, he will. On April 10th.
I'm going to that party.
But isn't he's like younger than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Is he? No, Schwarzenegger can't be 70.
Let's see.
This is when you start to feel really old.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was born in 1947.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. He is in his 70s.
Wow.
He's been around for a while, man. What was his first movie was Hercules in New York in 1970. That's 50 years ago. 50.
Wow. But now he's retired pretty much, right?
Yeah, he's over it. He did his movies. He got to be governor. Just after being the governor, he went back to being the Terminator. He's fine.
Yeah, no. Now he can just live the grandpa life.
Yeah, like, but why wouldn't you want to at this point? He's made enough money that his money is making money.
Yeah.
You're good. You're set.
I don't understand these people who make all this money. I mean, good for him. I guess like the work. Mm-hmm. But I would be out. I would retire at 50 if I could.
Yeah, and just be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Just get over it.
Yeah.
Actually, hold on. It says he is. Wait, is Kung Fury is an animated movie, right? Or no? That's a live action thing. So he is coming to do that. Apparently, I don't know what that is. It's in post-production and it's coming out next year. He was the voice of Arnold Armstrong, aka Captain Courage, in the TV show Superhero Kindergarten.
Oh, cute.
That's very cute. And
not a great voice, so
no. Well, I guess last year he was in like Terminator Dark Fate the other day.
Right.
So yeah, his work's been very sporadic since like the mid 2000s.
That's fair.
But he's apparently coming back for Legend of Conan and Outrider. Well, it says rumored for Outrider.
Right. But that could be like a one day on set kind of thing.
Yeah, like he walks over because it's also a TV series, but it depends. I guess if it's on like it's like Apple or something, then maybe. Right. I don't know. But it just says rumored, so not too sure what's going on there. Yep.
Starting that rumor.
Yeah. It's gonna be amazing.
I like when the internet say it's a rumor. You wrote it. You should know.
You should know. Exactly.
Basically just saying, this is a lie.
We're like, hey, we're lying to you. Or he's going to be in this show. You're like,
anything could be a rumor.
Yeah. Be like, purple people eaters are real. Like,
yeah.
Right. It's a rumor. Okay. I have no segue, as I said, between these two movies because they have nothing in common. I guess we could talk about Knocked Up.
Yeah.
I as I was saying before we got on, I watched this morning / afternoon, which delayed us recording this by 45 minutes because I forgot how long this movie was.
Terrible.
Also, while watching it, I forgot how good this movie was.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
I mean, I guess it should, like, it's only the second Judd Apatow movie, like in his movie.
What was the first one?
40-Year-Old Virgin came before.
Oh, that was before. Interesting.
Yeah. So, like, but also it's like such a huge turn, like the two different movies where you're just like, it's a bunch of weird single guys making dick jokes. Well, no, there's a bunch of single guys making dick jokes in this. Never mind. It's the same.
But this movie has more heart, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely sweeter. It's more family oriented, whether it's like your chosen family, quote unquote, your friends, or your family, like married kids, sisters, whatever. And there's like a real like focus to it. I think this is the movie where his movies get sweeter and nicer. And even though sometimes they're difficult, they're more grounded, I guess, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, apparently I was reading this was actually loosely based on him and his wife.
Yes, this one and This Is 40 is
right,
like based on his life.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of his movies work is that he's like, no, this thing happened to me and I'm gonna write about it. Yeah. I'll put different names and faces on it, but here's the thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he's very good at it. Like he really does make these, like, they're such crass comedies too. Like, just some of the humor is just so disgusting. Like, I was so mad at myself that I was laughing at some of these jokes. It's just like, I should be offended by all of this, but I'm just like, oh my God.
No, but it's good-hearted. And I also think it's like, it's impressive that a lot of it is improvised.
Yes. Yeah.
That they're able to kind of capture it in a way that actually makes sense in the larger context of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it doesn't feel like they're just like shoving a joke in there just for the hell of it. It's like no, these are what these people would do. Yeah. That's how it should be. Yeah. The whole thing with the bet they have with that one guy to like grow out all his hair for like a year, and all of the things they call him, every time it just gets worse and worse, and I'm just like, oh my God. Yeah.
And apparently that wasn't in the original script at all. That came out of an improvisation, and then he actually had to, I don't know if he actually grew the beard or they stuck it on him, but it's pretty funny.
It's pretty, like, I love the scene at the end where they're in like the hospital and the baby's being born, and you finally see him because it's been like 8 months or whatever. Yeah. And he's just like, he really does look like the Unabomber or like Christ Reborn or whatever they call him. And it's so funny. It's so funny. And the other thing in this movie is just like, everybody's in this movie. Everybody who is just generally funny is in this movie. Yeah.
I think that's the other trick to his movies. He must be a nice guy in person because he gets like the best people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the time when like, except for like Paul Rudd, like Katherine Heigl had her fame from Grey's Anatomy. Mm-hmm. And maybe like Harold Ramis, Alan Tudyk, maybe Kristen Wiig wasn't a big thing. Like, everybody in there at that time were not huge stars. Yeah. They were just, most of the cast is people he worked with on Freaks and Geeks. And he's like, here you go. And it seems like he just found some other funny people in there, but he picked the right funny people. Yeah. And they just make it work. And everybody in this movie now are stars, including his daughter, who plays the daughter, Maud.
Yeah, and she's a good actor. Yeah,
she is. Yeah, she was phenomenal in what's the TV show with Zendaya that's all depressing about drug use and stuff? Euphoria.
I was gonna say Utopia. Yes, Euphoria.
Utopia is a very different show.
Yes.
And everybody, like, I just found everybody in this movie just seemed to have like a really good chemistry. Mm-hmm. They worked really well together. And actually, I think like 3 episodes ago or 4 episodes ago, I was trying to think of a movie that has a scene in a hotel room with the chairs. It's this movie, apparently.
Right.
Just like I saw that, I was just like, it's this movie. And I don't remember who I was talking to or what I was talking about, why this came up. But I was like, hey, isn't there a movie where some guy's complaining about how many different chairs are in a room? And I was like, it didn't go anywhere because I couldn't remember what the movie was. And there it is. Found it.
There it is.
Did not expect that at all.
You have to go back and re-edit that episode.
I know. I'll be like, it's knocked up. Just throw that in there. But yeah, I think this is a great story.
Yeah, although you wonder, I mean, I guess it's based on his life, so in theory they're together in the end, but you sort of wonder if they're really going to make it as a couple.
Yeah, like part of it for me is like, so their relationship is during her pregnancy and her hormones are crazy, right? And some of the emotion she has, like, yeah, he's kind of an ass, but also he's trying and he's funny. So you can give him props for that. Like he legitimately wants to be there, but he doesn't want to give up his life. And I understand that part of it, right? But also she's like, you gotta grow up and be an adult because you're gonna be taking care of me, you're gonna be taking care of a kid.
Yeah.
Gotta figure out a way to make money. Just read the books and all that kind of stuff. But the way she handles it, I'm just like, God, you're such a bitch sometimes. Like, holy shit, you know? And so
and is that the pregnancy or is that just who she is?
Well, and this is the problem, because if after the pregnancy she's the same way, they're going to break up every 6 months.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very nice romantic comedy in that sense. You know, you walk away thinking, oh, that's so nice. Every one night stand turns into a beautiful relationship.
The reason why I'm single is I've been living my life wrong. I don't want one night stands. So
apparently,
it just gotta. Yeah, I just have to have an irresponsible stoner dude do something wrong and take him home, and that's it. Yeah, my life would be so perfect by now if I did this years ago.
See, now we know the secret to love.
Now we know the secret. Yes, but what blows my mind about this too is that in the movie they actually comment on this. They're like, he's 23 in this movie, and he looks like he's 40 already, which makes me mad. Because they also make a comment in the movie about how the men keep getting better looking as they get older and the women get quote unquote uglier because they're bitching about it. But it's true, because Seth Rogen now looks better than he did.
It's true. It is true.
Yeah. And then of course there's Paul Rudd, who just looks beautiful all the time.
He's always looked good.
No, it's just fucking ridiculous, that man's face.
But
whatever.
No, he's a good actor too. But.
Exactly. But like Seth Rogen, even Jason Segal looks better now than he did back then, or maybe I think so.
I don't know. It's maybe 5% worse.
I think I actually
really good looking, but I don't know that he's getting better.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I'll give you that one.
You know, in like How I Met Your Mother, he was kind of at his peak.
And now it's just, you could see the decline a little bit.
5%.
Yeah. I actually think the key is in this movie as well. They just look dirty. Like they just all look dirty. And I think the pictures I'm seeing here, I'm like, they look clean, like they took a shower and combed their hair. That automatically makes you look better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's part of the charm of the movie too, is that you feel like they're real people, right?
Yeah.
You kind of just feel like they're your buddies.
Yeah. I've met people like them, like they're just stoners. They fall into money randomly, but not lots of money that they could just like not do anything. Like they should still get a job, but don't. You know, like these people exist.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. But they live a great, fun life. I mean, they're going to theme parks in the middle of the day. They're having weird Olympics in their backyard. They're going partying on the weekend. Like, what? None of them do anything.
That is also a lesson from the movie. Get rich very young, doing something really stupid.
Yeah. And that's what all of them did in real life too. Oh my God. Yeah. They've made such fun, good movies, and you're just like, you know what? You deserve this stuff. That's fine. It just let it happen.
And the beauty of that movie too is you feel like it's so kind of off the cuff. Like they're just like anybody could do that, but really that is not a movie that anybody could make at all.
It's true. Yeah. Because a lot of people like doing jokes like that or whatever, it could come across like it could either come across mean, like not just crass, but like mean.
Yeah.
Or punching down, or they could just come across as like complete assholes for being like making those jokes. Whereas like they make these horrible jokes and still come across like lovable and they're nice. And you're just like, they're definitely just joking. It's great. It's fun. It's a friendship.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And you're like, I accept all of this. This is just fine. Like even the parts where they get mad at each other and stuff, and you're just like, they'll still be friends.
You know they're gonna be okay, right?
Yeah. Like this is just so weird. Like how are you?
That's also boys fight. That's how boys fight.
They do. Yeah, they just cuss at each other like 3 times and be like, I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's okay. Pat on the back, right?
Then they're good.
Yeah. Whereas women like tear each other apart.
Oh yeah.
They cry for a month and a half, don't talk to each other for a year, and then one day be like, oh, it's nice to see you again. It's nice to see you too. I'm really sorry that I ate your fries one time. Like I think we're over it now. Yes. Oh my God, I missed you so much. Like it's a whole thing.
Mess with the girls' fries.
I know. Seriously, I will murder people. Okay. God, fries are delicious. Like earlier this year too, I listened to Seth Rogen's audiobook, Yearbook, that he
I haven't listened. I'm adding it to my list.
He reads it. So with audiobooks, I really enjoy.
Although, is he old enough to make an autobiography? I'm just gonna say.
I mean,
that makes me feel really old because I feel like he's around our
age. I think he is actually like our age. He's 2 years younger than me.
Oh, even better.
1982. Okay. It's fine. I think it's more like his thing is 90% not his Hollywood career. It's all about like his like childhood and how he ended up in comedy, and it's just like him retelling like fond memories or sometimes not so fond memories of his rise to being himself kind of thing. And then at the end he does come into like Hollywood and does talk about meeting some celebrities and stuff, but that's not really like, it's not the focus of the book. It's not really. I find the book isn't really about like, hey, look at all the cool people I met and all the scandals. It's more about like, here's some fun stories about stuff that I did because I'm a normal guy and people ask me questions like how I ended up here and here's some stuff. So it's like I found it a really sweet book, and I actually thought listening to him read it would just his voice sometimes can be a little bit grating, can be a lot, especially when he laughs. He's like, or whatever it is. You're just like, what is that? Stop doing that. But he doesn't laugh that much while he's reading it, which also helps. Which sounds really mean, but because his laugh is part of his humor. Like him laughing at himself when he thinks something's funny is hilarious.
Yeah.
But in the book, like it's really good to like listen to him clearly have like emotions about things as he's going through it, but still trying to like keep on track with it and all that kind of stuff. It's really good.
Okay, I'll definitely have to read it. Yeah, I feel like he's one of those guys that he's done a little bit more dramatic stuff, but probably in a few years I can see him doing more drama. I feel like
because he did Jobs, like he played Wozniak in Jobs or whatever. And then there was like, I guess in 50-50, he was kind of the comic relief, but there was like serious moments in there. His like most famous stuff and his best stuff are definitely like hilarious things.
Yeah.
I don't know why people hate it so much, but Sausage Party was a great movie.
I love Sausage Party.
I loved Sausage Party. It was so good.
And again, it's one of those movies that like coming from anybody else probably would have been so offensive.
Yes.
But somehow it was just so charming and funny that you kind of care.
It was, right? Because I remember it was like 2 years after the movie came out, I finally sat down and watched it. I was like, fine, I'll look at this. Jeez.
Yeah.
And so I sat and watched it. I was just like, okay, first of all, my stomach hurts because I've been laughing so hard. And I'm just like, why do I love this movie so much? It's so ridiculous.
I watched Sausage Party in theaters when it came. I think it was like opening weekend.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I didn't realize that I was such a fan, but apparently.
You're a huge fan, yes.
Honestly, have not laughed that hard in a movie in like a long time. And I think because it was the opening and people didn't know yet exactly what the movie was, there were some kids in the theater.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
That was not for children. Yeah. Because even the
kids being ushered out very quickly, but very.
Yeah, they would have been. I mean, even in like the opening scenes, they talk about like the buns and the sausage getting stuffed in the buns and stuff. You're just like, yeah, I think I'm in the wrong place.
Yeah, sometimes people think, oh, it's animated, it must be kids. No, have to read reviews, people.
Yeah, but this is I find this is a phenomenon that I still don't understand, where parents bitch are like, no, I put an animated show in front of my kids. Why did I come back and they were cussing? I'm like, you put your kids in front of BoJack Horseman. What is wrong with you? Like I find animation has become legitimized as like just a form of like film and television, and anything could be animated. You still have to look at like, well, what is the show about? Who's in it? What kind of content is it?
Or like, just look at the rating. They make it really easy for people.
You know, like if you sit your kid in front of something that's animated and it's just like MXXX, you're just like, that's your fault at this point. Yeah. And I love, like, you know, like those groups were just like, get this show off the air. You know, my children saw it. I'm like, but why did you let your child watch this show? That's not the animator's fault. That's your fault. What are you doing? Not okay.
Well, apparently, did you watch Squid Game?
I did not watch Squid Game.
Okay, I won't spoil it, but it is definitely not for children.
Okay.
And apparently it's like a huge thing that kids are now playing out like in schoolyards. And who these parents are who are letting their 10-year-old children watch the show. Like, I feel like as a 40-year-old, I'm not quite emotionally mature enough to watch the series. You'll see when you watch it. It's very intense. I loved it, but it's a lot. Like, and again, just because it has games in the name, it's not for children.
No, it's really not. Like, even like for me, even when the whole thing came out, like Squid Games, you should watch it. I saw like one ad for it. I was just like, oh, that looks brutal. Like automatically, it was very clear that is not a children's show, right? But I find it weird that like a lot of kids programming makes a lot of like references to things they should never watch, and like I don't know if it's just because they're making references to things for the parents like thing, but also I would think making all of those blatant references to stuff kids shouldn't be watching, the kids are going to be like, can I watch that thing? And you have to be like, no, you can't watch that thing, you know? Like, so here's a silly anecdote. When I get ready for work in the morning, I watch cartoons. They're on TV.
Fun.
I will watch them. And one of the cartoons that comes off in the morning is Teen Titans Go.
Yes. And
the other day there was an episode and they were going all over the world trying to find some dude who was stealing like fancy recipes, and they ended up in Croatia, which is where they make Game of Thrones, right? And the whole episode was Game of Thrones themed, talking about Game of Thrones. All the characters was like, I'm gonna be the king of the north, and Cyborg was Hodor, but he said cyborg all the time and stuff like that, and you're just like, what child is getting these references? Isn't this
apparently Game of Thrones is also being watched by children, like 10. I mean, maybe not like little kids, but like 9 and up.
That's psychotic. Right? Even as an adult, I would watch episodes and be like, I shouldn't be watching this.
Wait till you watch Squid Game.
Oh my God. Because like Squid Games it's about like the violence, right?
It's the violence, but it's also, and I don't know I'm certainly not an expert on the history of South Korea and North Korea, but there's a whole kind of political undertone to it, you know, and conversations about like economic classes and all that stuff that I think as a kid would be like way just beyond your scope. And if you're just looking at it as like a violent kind of live action version of a video game, you're way missing the point.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's the thing, like those kids that are watching it are probably just like, it's like a video game. It's got bright colors and people get shot in the face. Like it's,
or at least watch it with your kids so you can kind of explain what they're trying to say through the violence. Because it's not just violence for violence sake.
Yeah.
Even though it's pretty intense violence, but
yeah. I mean, I just haven't gotten on the Squid Games bandwagon yet because I had it's on my list to watch.
Yeah.
But also people keep telling me to watch it and that makes me not want to watch it.
I know. You have to watch it before it becomes a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like when people tell you to watch it because of how good it is and stuff, then your hype level goes too high. And no matter when you watch it or how good it is, it's never going to be as good as you expect it to be based on how many people telling you how good it is. So it just kind of ruins the thing. So I got to wait for the hype to die down, give it like a year or two, and then I'll go like, I finally watched it. It's amazing. And people be like, I told you. Like,
you have to forget about it for a while. And then,
yeah.
Like I watched Sopranos like last year. I was like, this show's good. You need time to kind of let the dust settle if everybody tell you how good it is.
Exactly. Yeah, I actually haven't watched Sopranos yet either.
Yeah, it's a good show.
See, now I gotta wait another year to forget about it. God, you ruined it.
Fine.
You're like, it's okay. I don't know. But I'm not denying the show might be good, but like the content of the show that I know of it has I have no interest in any of it. And it's not on any of my lists to watch and stuff. And I'm like,
I know. But you have to just remember the subtext of it.
Yeah, I suppose.
If you're watching it for the face value, I think that's where people are getting stuck with like, oh, it's so brutal. And do I really need to be watching this?
Yeah.
There's more to it than that.
Wait, are you talking about Sopranos or Squid Games?
Squid Games.
Oh, no, I'll get around to Squid Games. Sopranos is what I'm talking
Sopranos.
about.
Yeah, no, Sopranos is good. Sopranos is more kind of just character drama.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I find it kind of boring. But
you might want to become a mobster.
Never know. It might happen.
Also a good career goal.
Well, you get fancy houses, you get, you know, good families and stuff.
Yeah, you can also kind of retire early in a way.
Yeah, in a way. Yes.
In a way.
Be part of get a construction crew going.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to do stuff. But
get your hands a little dirty, but there's water, there's soap, you can wash them.
Call in Steven, you're fine.
Yeah, we're good. So sorry, we're getting this started, right? Since we have a plan, apparently.
Yeah. Is that how mobs start? I think so. Yeah. Two people just chatting. Hey, you want to murder some people and get some money for it? Like, sure. I feel like that's a gang versus a mob. I feel like mob, there has to be some family history there.
Yeah. Okay. You got
the distinction between a mob and a gang.
Yeah. Yes. That actually, no, I think that might be right. Yeah.
Well, we could start a friend mob.
We could.
Yeah. We'll call it something different.
We are each other's chosen family.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll call it a gob.
A gob.
A gob.
Oh, a gob. Yes.
The gang mob.
Yeah. Okay. We'll make the term gob infamous.
Platypus gob. I like it. Sounds really intimidating.
People will not take us seriously, and that is why we will take over.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then in 30 years to be like, oh, the dark history of the platypus gob.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Made for TV movie, then like a real movie, Angela Bassett, who doesn't age, she's gonna play me. It'll be great.
Paul Rudd's gonna play me. It's gonna be
he can do anything.
He can do anything.
Yes.
He'll still look the same.
Yeah. He'd be like, this is just me in a wig. Is this okay? Like, yes, you're doing
oh yeah.
I love it.
I don't even care. You don't have to wear the
yes, as Angela Bassett just eats up the scenery
I'll shave
around
my
him.
head. It's fine.
You got to get that short, got to have that little hair flip thing going on.
Yeah, he does have good hair.
Yeah, he really does. Maybe that's the key. Just have good hair. You just look amazing forever.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt at all. What were we talking about? Oh, Knocked Up. Yes.
Oh, right. Not the mob. No.
Not the mob. Sorry, not the platypus gob. We're on it.
Platypus gob.
Yes. A lot of my notes are actually just from the beginning of the movie, because then I just got distracted by how laughing and how good stuff was. And a lot of my notes are just like complaining about like it's the usual like, you know, hot girl and like slob fat guy. You're just like, why is this a trope? In real life, hot people go out with hot people and slobby people go out with slobby people. You get your shit together. And well, I guess in Apatow's case, his wife is better looking than him. So yeah.
I know, I thought that too. Like, kind of how mean is it? You know, for Seth, that he's cast as this guy that like nobody would want to sleep with. She kind of gets stuck with like, oh, this sounds like a great part for you. I mean, yeah, it's for you. Like, how awful is that? But then when you realize it's kind of based on him and his life, it's like, okay.
You're like, that makes sense. Yeah. But I think that's the difference between being like the guy nobody wants to sleep with compared to the guy that like at first he's kind of gross, but then you talk to him, you're just like, I get it, you know?
Right.
Because I guess because he's got such like a nice personality, he's like a nice guy. You're just like, I could see how you could win people over. But yeah, but that first night at party at the club, I'd been like, ew, no.
But it's also that whole theory of like beer goggles that I never quite bought into.
Yeah, I definitely still pick up on the like, I know I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you still know if somebody's like totally not for you, even if you're a little tipsy. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, because when they meet, she's not drunk at all. So she sees him. She knows what that is. And then they get drunk together. And I'm just like, no, she should have been wasted like that when they met. Exactly. And then it would have made a lot more sense, you know? And I'm not saying that slobby people don't deserve love. Sure. But I just think it's just like a Hollywood trope, even like on like sitcoms and movies, you know, all that kind of, and in Hallmark films and whatever. You're just like, why is this a trope? Like, I don't understand this.
It's also, it's okay when it's the guy, right? But you never see the reverse of that.
Oh no, you never see like a
hot guy and a plain looking girl and they hook up. That doesn't happen.
Oh no, we do see that, but the plain girl is actually a hot girl, but her hair's in a ponytail.
Well, yes, the glasses. She's wearing a baggy sweatshirt
or something. Yeah, like it's like she's all that. Where they're just like, oh, we put you in clothes that fit, and then we took your hair out of a ponytail, and you're hot now. You're just like,
you're a model.
That doesn't count.
That's shocking. No, that's not what I'm talking. Like an actual normal girl.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like just put somebody like you. There are slovenly women out there.
Yes.
Who are also lovable and kind and caring, and they just need a chance. And the hot guy with the muscle should come over and be like, hey, let me pick you up. Like, why not?
Yeah.
It would never happen. It never happens.
Because they haven't seen a movie about it.
Exactly. Well, because even like what's that Rebel Wilson movie where she's like stuck in a romantic comedy or whatever?
Yeah.
Like it turns out the hot guys attract her because it's all in her dreams. And at the end, she wakes up and he's still an asshole, right? And you're just like, oh, so we're not gonna go that way where like the big girl gets like the hot guy. Okay, so we're gonna leave it. Or like even in I Feel Pretty, where she gets knocked on and she's like, she sees herself as beautiful, and everybody's just like, you're stuck up because you think you're hot. And you're like, what's wrong with somebody having confidence in themselves and them in your eyes not being physically perfect? Like, what's the big deal? You know? So it's stuff like that where like women are constantly being showed you have to be perfect to get anything, but a guy could be whatever he wants and he will get the like the hottest chick because he's got confidence. You're like, no.
Exactly. And he's kind of the more likable character too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that might just be who they are in real life. I don't know. But it's
rumored. But but yeah, no, it kind of like that trope kind of bothered me. But knowing that this was based on Apatow and even, like his wife, what's his wife's name? Mann, something? Leslie Mann.
Yeah.
You see them in them, and you're like, okay, I will allow this.
Yeah.
But it was just like a random off the top of my head. Like, what if a fat guy got with a hot chick? Like, what? You know?
Yeah.
Totally different. Mm-hmm.
I feel like their baby would be really cute.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the sequel. Well, I guess this is 40 was so sort of supposed to be, but not really with those characters, right?
Yeah, no, they're completely different characters.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Leslie Mann is in all of his movies. She always plays the wife or the older sister or whatever. I think she's very good at it. And she's like, I think her high-pitched squealy voice kind of like, you're just like, oh, okay. Yeah.
She's a really good character actor.
She is. She really is. And I think making it a family affair to have his kids in it too. So while he's working, he gets to spend a bunch of time with his family. And then just, writing about his life just makes things quote unquote easier, I think, so it's easier to pick out like what emotions you're looking for, what ideas you're going for, what you're trying to show and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be fun to see him do something like completely different. Like a sci-fi.
Oh my God.
I don't know what that would look like, but
I think it would just be all of them making dick jokes in space, to be honest.
I think so. I think it would be the exact same banter, just in wearing like ears. Like
yeah. And to be honest, I would watch the crap out of that. I am down for this. Yeah. You're like, I'm all about this. Well, I mean, he did do I Love You, Man. And Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Those were kind of different.
They're still kind of rooted in that marriages, relationship.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, did he actually do those, or was he just like a writer or something? Or
I just assume that when that cast is in a movie, it's his movie.
I know, right? You belong there. That's fine.
Yeah.
He produced The Big Sick. I love that movie. That movie was great.
Okay.
It's very sweet and very nice. Anchorman, Wanderlust. No, those are producers. Sorry, I'm looking for director.
I was going to say Anchorman is not so realistic. So
no, not so much. The only movie of his I haven't seen actually is The King of Staten Island.
I tried to watch that.
I hate that guy. I can't watch it
during lockdown, and it didn't. Maybe I just wasn't in the mood, but well, I don't know. It was not.
What's that guy's name again?
He was missing his regular cast, to be honest.
Oh, really? It was just a little too dry.
Yeah, it didn't. That again, it's that whole thing of like you think anybody can pull off that banter, but it's not always the case.
Yeah. Well, I think
it wasn't as likable.
Well, yeah, I think Pete Davidson, that's his name.
Yeah.
I find him gross and smug.
Mr. Kardashian.
Ugh, whatever. We are not going there. I can't go there.
When does this episode come out? Because they probably will have broken up
by then. Yeah, no, it's coming out on Monday, so in 2 days. So yeah, I could see them breaking up by then.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's the only movie of his Judd episodes I haven't seen. Because I cannot put up with that guy's face. I can't put up with how he talks.
Yeah, he's a character. I think his maybe his stand-up is really good.
I find nothing appealing about him. I don't find him funny, and I don't understand how he's lasted so long on SNL.
Maybe he's really nice behind the scenes. And again, there's rumors that there are other nice qualities about him.
Oh, okay. That's not a reason to keep him on SNL, though.
I don't know what he's doing behind the scenes there.
Maybe the thing is he's a good writer. So all the things he's not in, maybe he wrote that, and then everybody's still funny.
No way.
I don't see any other reason why he's there.
I think he has like this sort of younger female audience that they're trying to get into the show.
But why? He's so ugly.
Because it's one of the BDE. Sometimes, I don't know.
It's true. Sometimes weird things attract you.
He's like dated everyone in Hollywood, so there's something to it.
Which also makes no sense.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy. Absolutely crazy. I don't know. I did like Trainwreck. Even though most of the usual people weren't there, but Amy Schumer is fun, so I was fine with that.
Yeah.
Watch the TV show Crashing. I watched the TV show Love. I haven't seen any of his documentaries. There you go. I haven't seen any of those.
Oh, I didn't even know he did documentaries.
Yeah, he did May It Last, a portrait of the Avett brothers. So that's a music one. And then the Zen Diaries of Gary Shandling.
Oh, I did see that. That was good.
Yeah. And he's also
very interesting.
He's also currently in pre-production for one about George Carlin. I would watch that one for sure.
Yeah, the Gary Shandling one was very interesting.
Yeah.
It was a really good documentary about him.
I would watch that.
That makes sense. It's still kind of in his wheelhouse with comedians.
Yeah, yeah. Like Gary Shandling was kind of an ass, but like a lovable ass. That people were just like, no, you're kind of you're a funny genius man, but you're kind of a dick.
Yeah, and they sort of like dug into his genius and it's personal. It's good. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's worth watching.
I will try. That one I will track down and watch. Definitely. Yeah. And I'll definitely watch the George Carlin one. George Carlin.
What was the other one?
May It Last, a portrait of the Avett brothers.
What are the Avett brothers?
I think aren't they a band? An intimate documentary following the acclaimed North Carolina band, the Avett Brothers, as they create their 2016 hit album, True Sadness. I have never heard of them before.
Oh. I guess he's a fan. I've never heard of them.
I guess he's a fan. Yeah. But it's a music doc. He's like, it's a hit album, but here's why it should actually suck. Boom. You know?
That would be good.
I would watch that for sure. Documentary.
Start a new genre.
Exactly. Yeah. Hate watch documentaries. We're taking everybody down.
Well, although I think that exists now. It's like Tiger King
and those kind of things. Yeah. I feel like Tiger King is one of those things where they're actually just making fun of people and they don't know it. But also with Tiger King 2, it's like you're perpetuating their horrible lifestyle to keep them.
Yeah.
And they want to keep their fame, so they keep doing the horrible things more. And you're just like, at what point is this just like gross?
Yeah, Tiger King feels like all the things that a documentary is supposed to not be. Yeah. Right? That you're supposed to kind of just sit back and let things happen the way they do naturally.
Yeah.
It feels very much manipulated and trying to kind of capture the worst of them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's very it's disturbing. Like when I heard Tiger King 2 was coming out, I was just like, no.
I know.
That's not a thing I'm participating in. Yeah. I haven't technically watched any of it, even like the first season, but like I've read a couple of articles and heard about it, and I was just like, I don't want to participate in this in any way. It just seems gross.
Yeah, it wasn't particularly well done as a documentary. They're interesting characters, but it's absolutely just making fun of them. Regardless of whether they're good people or not. It's not really about telling a story. It's about like, look at these kooky people.
Yeah, we're making fun of them. Yay.
They're still real people, you know.
Yeah.
Still somebody's mother, father, son, daughter.
Yeah, and it's still a life they have to go back to. Right? Yeah. Well, you know, when you're in a pandemic and you're looking for shocking content, I guess you'll put whatever up.
Yes. I think it was a good escape for people.
Yeah. People were bored and they'll be like, you know what, I'll do whatever. Be like, haha, did you see this?
And it didn't want the heavy drama, even though, I mean, they do talk about like murders and things. I didn't think it was as light as people were like, wasn't that funny? I'm like, some people still died. Are we just pretending that didn't happen?
They're like, yeah, but look at his funny hat.
Like, I just watched Seinfeld. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
That's what I did too.
Different views of what light is, but okay.
I watched Seinfeld and Scrubs and half of that 70s show. Like, I went back to like sitcoms that legitimately made to make you laugh, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, crazy. Yeah. What else about Knocked Up? I don't know. I don't really know who I was referring to when I wrote down "he's so gross" ! Because there's a lot of people in there that I could be referring to in that movie. And I watched this right before we started, and I've already forgotten. Yeah. One of my notes was when they went to the pharmacy to get like all the pregnancy tests, and
Mm-hmm.
they bought like 100 pregnancy tests. I was like, how much money are those things? Are like $30 to $40 each. How much money are you spending on this before you even go to the doctor?
This is always the movie thing, right? Where they do like 1,000 pregnancy tests at home.
And they're like, you just spent like $4,000.
What are the chances that they're all, first of all, that they're all faulty? I'm like, your pee is your pee. It's not going to change from one stick to another.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. Like, even if you want to be sure, maybe buy 2. I can say 2, right?
Yeah.
But like 30 and 40 of them, no, it's way too much. You know, or maybe like you use 2 and then return the others. Like,
maybe they're keeping them for the next pregnancy.
You're like, I need to be sure again. Oh my God, black market like pregnancy tests.
Oh,
yeah,
out of business.
It turns out it's just like one of those
next lockdown.
Yeah, it turns out the stick you're peeing on is like the dipper and from like the Dippin' Dots thing.
Right. Yes.
You pee on it, just kind of melts. And like if it melts, you're pregnant. You're just like,
it smells like strawberry.
What have we done?
I thought I was pregnant, but now I think I'm dying.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's right. Melted the stick.
What's acid?
That would be terrifying.
Another note I made was when she tells him she's pregnant and he's sitting with his friends and they're just like, you fool, the girl has to be on top. It's just gravity. She can't get pregnant that way. And you're just like, right. What? People can't actually believe this. They can't.
I think you do. I think there's all kinds of myths about like ways you can and can't get pregnant. Right?
I think it's crazy.
Absolutely. Take a shower, pee right after. There's all kinds of crazy things people say.
They're like, do you realize those that come out of different places, right?
Yes. Yes.
You know, weren't we all forced to go to anatomy class and have a sex ed talk? Like,
I have to say, because I went to a private school until grade 8. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure that maybe in grade 9 we had a sex talk. I don't know that I ever officially learned it in school.
Oh, no, yeah. I know I did, because I did go to 2 Catholic schools, both elementary and high school, but they had a pretty decent, quote unquote, decent sex ed program, both of them.
Right.
And in like grade 5 or 6, I remember them splitting up the boys and girls for like 3 days or whatever. And boys had boy class, girls had the girl class, and they showed pictures of stuff and when like, ooh, vaginas, giggles and all that kind of stuff. And then at the end, they brought us back together to like, you know, we have a suggestion box and here's a piece of paper for everybody and be anonymous. Just write your questions on it, you know.
That's good.
Yeah, so like they went through like the basics essentially, right? And then in high school they did the whole, here's a video of someone giving birth. This is what will happen.
I definitely don't remember that.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that one. That was
a condom thing in grade 9. We did that. They really just giggly.
They did not do that for us. I think that was maybe too far.
We did that.
Oh God, yeah. And which they showed in this movie too, where they showed like the crowning, and I was like, no. That I know.
I think it's meant to be birth control. I don't really think it's meant to be education.
Exactly. They're like, this is what will happen to you. Don't do it. Yeah. No. It didn't work in our school, that's for sure. Our school had one of the highest pregnancy rates. Oh my God. No, like we had I think I've mentioned this before. We were in a holding school building.
Okay.
And so in grade 10, a bunch of people, they built a new school, and in grade 10, I was left one of the people in the area that was like left there. So it was grade 10 and grade 9. And in the whole school, including teachers, there's 150 people.
Okay.
For that year. And then the next year got higher. By the time I left, it was only up to like 500 people in the whole school. It was a whole weird thing. Anyways, but I think that year, and it wasn't even the grade 10s, it was the grade 9s. There were 4 or 5 pregnancies.
Wow.
Which is crazy high for the amount of kids, because there was another school just down the street that had like 4,000 kids.
Yeah.
And in the whole school, there was something like 3 pregnancies.
Yeah. I was going to say, in my high school, I know there was definitely one girl I knew probably a couple others, but like maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah.
That I remember. Maybe there were more that I wasn't aware of, but.
But did you go to it was a big school?
It was a fairly mid-sized high school.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't as small as mine, right?
Yeah, no, it was a public high school.
Yeah. Even one of our teachers got knocked up. See, that's how crazy it was. So it's fine.
Well, how do you know she got knocked up and she wasn't just...
Oh, well, magically on March break, we had break. 2 teachers came back. They were married to each other, and suddenly our gym teacher had a bump.
Oh, I see.
She was already I think it was starting to show. So they like went away, got married, came back. They're like, yeah, I'm 3 months pregnant. You're just like, oh,
they weren't married before.
No.
I see. Okay.
It was a big scandal in the school, and the whispers and oh my god,
teachers become people. Yeah.
Right. But yes, yeah, our school was a bunch of dirty people. Just letting you know, it's great. Getting it on.
Video didn't work. It was too enticing.
Definitely didn't work. They're like, I want that to happen.
Didn't put the right questions in the suggestion box.
Exactly.
What were the questions?
They were like it was just like it's not a suggestion, but it was more just like a what do you want to know? And one of the questions I clearly remember was somebody's asked like what is the squishing sound that happens or whatever? And like the teacher was confused, everybody in the class was confused, and they're like, squishing sound. I mean, and then the teacher tried her best. I forget what she said, but I just remember the question.
Right.
And she like was just like, well, when 2 bodies come together,
right?
When it's like when you're clapping, make a sound. It was something along those lines. She said, and I was just like, oh my god. She was trying to
her head. She was thinking, what?
Yeah. It was stuff like that. Like, it was hilarious. But like, I mean, at the time, it was pure torture for all of us. I think anybody in the sex ed class, you're just like, oh my god, especially the teacher who's got like 20, a 10-year-old staring at her going like, I'm going to talk about penises. You're like,
right.
But yeah, it like, I don't know. I know I learned that stuff in school, which is, I think, a good thing, to be honest. But yeah, no, like I think sex ed programs didn't they like pull back on them last year or something because of protests from teachers or parents?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a parent, but I think in some schools, but then I've heard from other parents that the sex ed now is like very detailed, like way more than when we were in school.
Oh, okay. I think that's a good thing.
And which makes sense, but now they talk about sexuality and things like that we never talked about.
Yeah.
Different kinds of sex and like orgasm and just things that we did not talk about for sure.
Oh yeah. When we were kids, those things didn't exist.
No, it was just the very basic facts.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like, this is your anatomy.
Yeah.
When a man and a woman get together, they have a kid.
Yes.
There are some people who are a different way. They will not have children, and we're not talking about them.
I don't even think we talked about that in school. I don't remember that at all.
There was no like spectrum of sexuality. You know, you were either straight or a sinner. That was legitimate. Well, I went to Catholic school.
Oh,
that's what I got.
Interesting. Yes. Yeah, no, you could be straight or gay. It just wasn't brought up in the context of sex ed. There was no like nothing outside of heterosexual relationships that was discussed.
Exactly. Yeah.
You were gay because I was a drama kid, so certainly some of my friends were gay, and they was just not talked about. You just figure it out on your own.
Yeah, but that's the war. That's why so many people got sick and things happen to them because you go out blind. Yeah. And what are you supposed to do, right? Yeah. So I am very happy they're talking all of the things and making people feel, not just feel, reassuring people that they're normal, whatever.
No, I think it's great. I think it's great. And it should come from school, not from, and then, with follow up, hopefully, if you have supportive parents or family.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you need the support at home as well as outside. Definitely. Yeah. So I think that's a good thing. Yeah. We're making strides, I guess. I don't know. Sure.
In some places, probably.
Yeah. Like I think I was reading there was an article in like what is like the Star or something last week that it just popped up. I get like news notifications and stuff, and they were talking about how they're starting to worry about the next generation because like not fertility rates, like birth rates are reducing so much, even though people are insisting that kids are having kids, you know what I mean? Where I'm just like, it was like, no, we're educated. We have been told, be educated, get a good job, then get married, then have kids. So now that we follow that, you're like, you're not having kids until you're like 30 compared to before, where either you got accidentally locked up or you were married off at 18. Yeah. And you're having kids super early. So we're doing the right. You told us what you want us to do. We're doing it. And now you're just like, now there's no babies. Well, yes, that's what happens.
Where are all the children?
And they're like, and all those like right-wing people are just like, oh, we're blaming it on like, media's turning everybody gay, so nobody's having kids and blah blah blah. And you're just like, no, that's literally not it. No. We're doing what you told us to do correctly. I think people are
just more sensible about having kids for the most part.
Yeah. Well, also having kids, not just like emotionally, like you want to find a good partner, you want to, you want to be mentally prepared yourself for a child, but also the economic side of it is like kids are expensive, especially now. You got to get them, you go not just going to the doctors with diapers, and you got to pay for education. You got to, I'm going to use a bad word, burden, but it's a lot. And you have to have a stability to have that. And I think, like you're saying, people are smarter about it. They're waiting till they're stable before they get themselves in that situation. Mm-hmm.
And I think, people do use birth control and other things where, a lot of families used to have like 6 kids. Now maybe they're having 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. There's a lot of smaller families now where people they're like, I'll have 1 kid. That's all you need. You know, I've procreated. I've done my thing for the human race. I don't need 12 kids or 19 kids. How are they going to go to college? I don't know. Like it's a crazy thing.
Nobody needs 19 kids.
No, yeah.
The Duggars.
Apparently, like, ooh, that's too money. That's too much.
I'm sorry.
Poor woman. Like even my parents' generation, like they had like 6 and 7 kids, which to me also blows my mind. Yeah. But they stopped after a while. Like, come on, what are you doing? It's nuts.
No, it's enough. You've done your job for the world.
Yeah,
it's fine. You're good.
You don't have to repopulate a country or anything. Just relax. Yeah. What else did I put here? I got very mad at the dinner conversation. I was like, why don't these women know about Back to the Future? That was my comment. That got me really mad for some reason. Fair. Like, I know the whole point was that she's supposed to get mad about him thinking about like running away and stuff or not wanting this to happen. Yeah. But all I got stuck on was like, how do you not know what Back to the Future is? What is wrong with you? I don't know if she's trying to be like sarcastic or what, but it legitimately seemed they didn't know what Back to the Future was. And I was just like, that is a cultural phenomenon. And this movie clearly takes place in our world. They talk about our movies, our people, our famous people, all that kind of stuff. It takes place in our world. You should know what Back to the Future is. You should know who Doc Brown is. You should know what the DeLorean and the time machine is. That is just
that's just basic knowledge.
Yeah. Like what?
Maybe they didn't legitimately, but I don't know. I was reading about the movie, and one of the things they said was, was one of the criticisms was that like the boy group was way more kind of fun than the girl group, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe that's just like who they not that they weren't fun, but their knowledge wasn't sort of the like funnier side of things. Mm-hmm. Think of like, was it called Neighbors? Bad Neighbor?
The one with Zac Efron and the it's Neighbors.
It's Neighbors.
Yeah.
Was that also Judd Apatow?
No, I don't think it was.
Because in that movie, Rose Byrne, who plays his wife.
So good. I love
like
her.
Equally funny, and you're finally there's a woman who's like as funny
on the same level,
the jokes, who knows the same pop culture stuff, right?
Yeah, and she wasn't like a downer. Like she wasn't like I find a lot of women in the movies they shut down the fun.
Yeah.
Where in that movie she was just like, no, I want part of this. This is going to be great. Like going nuts. Yeah. And one thing I liked about it is that they were a couple that made sense, right? Where like even in this movie, like Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann's characters, they're just like, he's fun and want to go and have fun and blah blah blah, and she's all like, I'm serious and blah blah blah, and you're just like, I know they say opposites attract, but in real life that would never work.
No.
Whereas in Neighbors, you're right. I don't know why I didn't bring that one up before. You're just like, no, I understand why this couple is together.
Yeah.
They have fun. They don't want to destroy each other's fun. They listen to each other. They do things together.
And they're actually friends, right? Like
they're
sort of stuck together and they're attracted to each other. Like they actually enjoy each other's company.
Yeah. And there was no like bitching him in front, like, oh, my wife's at home telling me to like do dishes. What the fuck? He was just like, oh no, we're gonna go have fun this weekend, blah blah blah. And he never says anything bad about her. Yeah, they get in a couple of fights, but he never says anything bad about her, whether in front of her or behind her back.
Yeah.
Because they're friends and they get along and they're like, I'm in this relationship that I like. Thank you. Yeah, it's true. Neighbors is much more of a sensible couple. That is very true. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was also made a few years later, right? Like I think that whole conversation evolved of like what a movie couple should look like and how far women can be pushed in movies.
Yeah, but I still don't see that as much as you would like to. I think there's like a couple of movies like what is it, Game Night with Rachel McAdams and who's the dude in it? It's
it's Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman. Yes, there you go. Yeah. And in that movie, they're a little competitive with Games Night and stuff, but they're on the same level, which I really enjoy.
Yeah.
But like even movies like Horrible Bosses, where it's Jason Bateman again, and he's married, and but his wife's is annoyed all the time,
Yeah.
Or even in like I don't know, what else am I thinking of? Another comedy. Give me another comedy.
Every movie.
The Hangover, where like there's the one wife who's married to the dentist or whatever, and she just bitches at him the whole time. Don't do anything. Don't do this. Don't do that. Well, it's like blah blah blah. Have fun with your friends. Like why? Like if you mistrust your partner so much, why did you get married to them? Like it doesn't make sense. And even like the couple that's getting married, they're separated, but she just every time they talk to each other, she just nags at him. And he's like, it's my weekend to have fun, but she's also being burdened with everything left to do with the wedding. And she doesn't seem to be having a bachelorette. She doesn't seem to hang out with her friends. Yeah. She's just like organizing stuff and it's going to show up and he's allowed to like go do things and have a good time. And you're just like, why is this these couples don't make sense. They like nobody wants to marry somebody who's going to nag at you for the rest of your life.
No, and I think we all know in real life couples who are best friends who actually really do like being together, right? Like those are the couples you look up to. It's not the couples where they sort of pick at each other all the time.
Constantly, yeah. Well, because even in this movie, one of the advice she's like, Oprah was saying that what you have to do is pick at them until they hate themselves, and then it forces them to change, and that's when they thank you for it. You're just like, that is horrible. Yeah. Oh my God. Who wants to be in that relationship? Nobody.
No. Nobody's changing.
No. I mean, like, to be honest, when, Paul Rudd has that epiphany in Vegas, I'll be like, I would have told him like, nah, man, you don't need to go back to that. You're stressed out. I can see why you're running away. Like, she might love him and want to spend time with him, but when she spends time with him, she just bitches at him all the time.
Yeah.
Like, It's horrible. Like there's the part where he comes and he's like, "You want to have sex tonight?" Which is also crass in itself. But when he's like, "Ugh," like that is not how. What? Even if you're feeling like shit, don't make them feel like they're disgusting. Like what? Yeah. But I guess people probably do that. And then they wonder later on, just like, I don't understand why my marriage fell apart. I put so much into it.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
That's sad. But yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm just ranting right now. I'm sorry.
It's not Paul Rudd's fault. That's all I know.
It's definitely not Paul Rudd's fault. He is thoroughly likable and a joy in this movie.
Married, right? In real life.
God, I hope not. Then I've lost my chance. He probably is. Nobody's gonna let that run away. Like he's got to be married by now.
I do like how I really take it personally when the stars I like are not married.
Yeah,
like maybe I do have that little bit of a chance.
Yeah, like Chris Evans. Like, why is this man single? Like, this is ridiculous.
I know, but then you still have a little bit of a chance.
I'm going to Hollywood. Mm-hmm.
I kind of think, my possibility of being with Ben Affleck, whether he's married or not, is probably the same.
I mean, he is back with JLo. I think you've lost your chance.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know. They seem pretty darn happy.
Oh my god.
But still, I think my 0.1% chance is probably the same up against JLo.
Yeah, still, what? You never know. One day you'll pass each other on the streets and it'll just click. And
this is what I think. Yeah.
Who knows?
That's a very real possibility in my head.
It is. I mean, he probably passes people on the street all the time.
Yes.
So there is a chance for you.
And I think JLo would just step out of the way and be like, yes, I can see that these are meant to be soulmates.
Yeah. I think she'll see you and she'll be like, damn.
And I'll just back off.
Yeah.
I think that's how it's going to happen.
You know what? I believe this. And it will come true. Yes. Yeah. This is what we're going for.
Sorry, JLo.
I know. Sorry, Bill.
Not personal, just, fate.
What? She's got all those rocks that she's got.
Fine.
Yeah, she's Jenny from the block. She'll be good.
Yeah.
I love that we've started a whole new life for you already. It could happen. That's a key. Nothing is impossible. They're simply improbable, which means there is a chance it can happen.
Exactly.
There you go. Statistics, guys. Statistics. Yes. And my last note about this movie is this is the movie with the chairs. That's my last note.
There you go. Solve the mystery.
Solve the mystery. It's all good. Yes. I don't know. I think that's all I got for all of this. I don't know. Any last comments about these two films, we'll call them?
Or either want to film.
Oh, that's a real question. Yes.
I think this was a good pairing.
Really?
I do. I think they were both enjoyable for very different reasons.
Yeah.
Kill Switch was enjoyable because I got to hear Steven Seagal for the first time in my life. And now understanding that he was probably a ghost the whole time. It's fascinating.
Maybe. I legitimately don't understand any of those scenes. Like, I just don't get
Now
it.
I feel like I need to go back and rewatch it. I think
please.
we just blew that movie wide open.
I almost choked when you said you're going to rewatch it. So, I mean, that
Knocked Up is just a good movie,
Yeah, Knocked Up is a good movie. It is. I'm gonna disagree with you on Kill Switch. Enjoyable is a very strong word. It is a
let me caveat this with the fact the last time you made me watch a Vin Diesel movie.
Yeah, but that's a good Vin Diesel movie.
Oh, this terrible Steven Seagal movie was 10 times better than the good Vin Diesel movie.
What? You're crazy.
No, it was definitely better.
Oh God, no!
The lost teeth.
Yeah.
Tracing on paper. I was all into it.
It's the crafts that you were into.
It's the crafts, the arts and crafts that I appreciated.
Yeah, Vin Diesel does not do crafts.
Maybe it was the hair.
The weird paste.
The weird V Steven Seagal v. hair. Vin Diesel is cute, but he has no hair.
He has no hair, and he doesn't do crafts. That is true.
Yeah, Seth Rogen has good hair. I think we just found the common ground.
Boom, common ground. Oh, 2 movies with great hair. Yes. I did admit, I did feel like I want to watch just touch his hair. I do want to touch his hair. Yeah. It was all like perfectly like ringlet curls and a little bouncy and stuff.
Yeah.
His hair, like when he first meets Paul Rudd and he's holding like the daughter, I'm like, they have the same hair.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, the fro. Gotta love it. But always ask permission before touching someone's hair. Just
don't.
Just don't. Yeah, that's probably the right way to do it. Mm-hmm.
Somebody who also has the Jew fro, just don't walk up to me and touch my hair.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, your hair is beautiful. I'm like, why are you touching me? Don't. This is not acceptable. No. You know, like what? Or you see the hand coming out, you take a step back. They get offended that you stepped back. You're just like, what?
Yeah.
Why are you
so bouncy? Really?
Like, fine.
I was once rub your arm.
Yeah, I was once somebody like grabbed my hair and they're just like, I didn't expect it to be so soft. And I was like, first of all, why are you touching me? And B, why most hair is soft? Like,
and why have you thought about what my hair would feel like?
You know. Yeah, I just chalked it up to, ignorant racist stuff. So it's just like, whatever. Yeah, just they probably with the old adage that it's like a Brillo pad kind of thing. Right. That's what in their mind. Whatever. We're gonna leave it. We've talked heavy topics already. We're not gonna talk racism. It's fine. Oh yeah. Okay. Now that I think about it, it was a really white movie. Yes, it was.
Yeah. They were both pretty white movies, actually.
Yeah. But they each had their token person.
True.
That was fine. It's look, I can overlook Knocked Up. Kill Switch.
Although I don't think diversity would have made Kill Switch better, to be honest.
Definitely not. No. I bet
you not the missing piece to that movie.
No, I bet you if there was diversity, it'd be very stereotypical diversity, and that would have made it a lot more problematic.
Yeah.
So we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. Maybe those are the scenes that got cut out. He was like in the middle of like a gang fight or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let him keep it.
They're just like, yeah, we're gonna take this out. But it tells you why this and this. We're gonna just take it out. We're just gotta nope. We're not touching this.
Like at a clan meeting, he's like, but it explains everything. Well, that we'll never know.
Now we'll never know. One day we're gonna find this secret 6-hour version of this movie that explains everything in it, and we'll know the truth. Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for being here, Shayna.
Oh, my pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Next time, hopefully, we'll get you in some much more interesting films as well.
I like it. I like the combos.
Well, that's it for this episode of Off My Shelf. Until next time, you can follow along on Instagram and Twitter at ohmyshelf, or you can send an email to ohmyshelf@gmail.com. On the next episode, it's the 4th annual Off My Shelf Christmas Extravaganza. Yay! Woo. Where we'll be talking about the holiday films Love Actually and The Nightmare Before Christmas. Hope you'll be here to listen.